Hey, welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee, the show where we look at the communities of Giles, Lawrence, and Maury County, all through the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart, publisher of the Lawrence County Advocate, Main Street Maury, and the Pulaski Citizen. We've got a busy week. We got a lot of great stuff in all of our newspapers and for the show this week. We've got something a little different. Our writer, Jonah Story, did an interview with John Oates. That's right, John Oates of the Hall & Oates fame prior to his concert last week in Columbia State Community College. We've got an audio segment from that interview for the show today, and the interview itself can be read in Main Street Maury this week. Also, coming up is the return of our Mayor's Corner feature, and we've got Olivia Adams sitting down with Spring Hill Mayor Jim Hagaman. And we're looking forward to that interview coming up just a little bit in the show. In Giles County, coming up this weekend is the Vicki Spitfire Garland Memorial Powwow right down here in Giles County. And then you'll be able to see the article there in the Pulaski Citizen when you pick one up this week. Or you can check it out online at PulaskiCitizen.com. Finally, I want to thank everyone who stops our writers, our ad reps, or anybody else in our newspaper staffs from all three of our communities. We've gotten a lot of great comments about all three newspapers, and we appreciate that you guys are reading the papers and that you're noticing the difference that we're making each and every week. Thank you all for reading your local newspaper because it matters. Now, let's get this party started with our weekly newspaper wrap, starting up with the Lawrence County Advocate wrap. On the front page of the Lawrence County Advocate this week, Etheridge has their second new warning siren activated. Sandy Mashburn has that and more from the Etheridge City Board meeting recently. H.B. Brinks will be celebrating their 100 years in business and will be celebrated for their generosity over those years. Find out all about that on this week's front page. Also, find out more about the hard work that Lawrence County's volunteer firefighters have been doing to protect life and property all across the county. All our southern Middle Tennessee counties have been observing April as Child Abuse Awareness Month, and Lawrence County is no different. Find out more about that on page A2. Our friends at LSAP are also focusing on children this month, along with Kids Place, a child advocacy center. Also inside, there's information about a RX drug take-back event that's going to be going on Saturday down at WLX's Country Cafe. There's town criers community events inside, along with information about the LCHS Winter Guard competition in Kentucky, classifieds, auctions, church directory, and a couple of Hojo fishing photos in this week's Lawrence County Advocate. Also inside this week, we joined some of our favorite local businesses in celebrating all our Lawrence County teachers. In sports, we've got the results from last week's two-game series split between Summertown and Loretto. Now, I can report, after the paper had already gone to press, that Loretto has clinched the regular season district title. So they will be hosting the district tournament next week when it starts up. But last week, the two baseball rivals went at it and split a home and away series by a total of 3 runs. And I've got the recaps and I've got photos from the games. So make sure you check that out in the B section this week. I've also got action from Summertown's softball team, which picked up 2 big district wins last week. And I've got those games and photos also in this week's paper. The Lady Eagles and the Lady Mustangs of Loretto are on a collision course to battle for district dominance this week. And that starts tonight, actually, Wednesday. Loretto will play at Summertown, and Friday, Summertown will travel to Loretto. These 2 games, this series, will play a pivotal role in determining the district regular season title. The Alabama-Tennessee Bass Club had a tournament, and we've got the winners, and we've got a couple articles from our old friend Larry Woody, all in sports this week. It's all in this week's Lawrence County Advocate. We'll be back right after this.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Having a good, confident smile and being able to portray that positivity to others is really helpful.
A professional family atmosphere is what we get every time we come here.
Our hygienists do a better job at kind of assessing mouths and coming up with plans than most dentists do.
They're very kind and they're very aware of other people.
I think if there's things that I would want you to leave here with, I want you to feel like you were heard, that we listened to you, and I want you to feel like that your concerns were addressed.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
In the Pulaski Citizen Wrap this week, Rhett Dupree is our Citizen Spotlight, taking that place of honor top and center of the front page. First of all, it's kind of hard for me to believe that Rhett's a senior at Columbia Academy. But the main thing here is that there's an article inside about an honor that Rhett received. So congratulations to Rhett, and congratulations on being a senior there at Columbia Academy as well. Also on the front page this week is Chandler Harmon's article on last week's County Commission meeting, which included Giles County Executive Graham Stowe explaining the only role the commission can play in the effort to place liquor by the drink back on the ballot in November of this year. There's a lot to be told. Check the story out. And a lot of these comments were made at last week's County Commission meeting, and Chandler gives us a rundown on that as well. This weekend is the second annual Keep Pulaski Clean Day, so get on up to the square Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to help Mayor J.J. Branding and a lot of great folks help keep our great town clean. Also on the front is Barbara Harmon's feature on, as I told you, the annual Vicky Spitfire Garland Memorial Powwow. That's going on the 27th and 28th down at the Agri Park. So pick up the paper to find out what's going on Saturday and Sunday at the Agri Park. Finally, on the front page, June Green has been appointed to serve as an alderman in Linville, and more from the town's April meeting. Inside Giles County's revamped website is up and running. Connie Rowe tells us about what happened in the Ardmore meeting this month. It's Realtors Week, local obituaries, backward glances. There's a drug take-back event Saturday here in Giles County as well. Property transfers, court docket. The Pulaski City Council is starting to deal with dilapidated houses. And Johnny Phelps highlights Mental Branch in Giles Pass this week. That is a lot, and there's a ton more in this week's Pulaski Citizen, including sports. And for that, we're going to turn it to Wade Neely.
Hey folks, Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. We have another jam-packed sports section for you guys this week, as we have coverage from all of our area spring sports squads and a couple of our local college squads as we kick things off. Our feature stories this week were a couple of broadcasts that we did on Pulaski Citizen Live. You can read all about the Richland Raiders soccer team as the Raiders ran roughshod over Culleoka. Mark Mize and Jennifer Hawkins had the broadcast, but you can read the recap on the front page of this week's edition. You can also see words on the Giles County baseball team. It's been an up and down season for the Bobcats, but they celebrated senior night with a couple of nice wins. A nice win at Sam Davis Park last week. That is featured again as part of our top story. Also, other coverage this week includes we had a former Giles County Lady Bobcat, very former Lady Bobcat, as senior Casey Stevenson inked her letter of intent. She's going to play collegiate basketball. You can find out where, as she was joined by members of the Bobcat basketball squad and coaching staff during a ceremony recently at GCHS. Giles County Lady Bobcats softball, they are rolling, folks, and the Lady Bobcats picked up a couple of nice district wins last week as we broadcast the win on Monday versus Marshall County, and they followed up with a nice victory versus rival Lawrence County as well. And even though their overall record is not the greatest, the Lady Bobcats are undefeated in district play, so you can read all about that. And you can also see words on the Richland Raiders and the Richland Lady Raiders. Richland Raider baseball team is undefeated in district play after a couple of nice victories as well last week. And the Lady Raiders did suffer their first loss to Cornersville, but they have bounced back in style. We have them featured as well. And I mentioned our college section this week. You can read all about former GCHS Bobcat Coleman Sinyard, as Coleman was named the Southern States Athletic Conference Player of the Week. Had a massive performance at the plate as he continues to put up a very strong junior season for the UTS Firehawks. On our back page, you can always see words from our good friend Larry Woody, who's getting us ready for spring. But there's a little sting to go with that spring, so you're going to want to check that out as Larry Woody brings us, again, part of our back page this week. That's all what's going on in Pulaski, in and around Giles County. Another jam-packed edition of the Pulaski Citizen Sports section. And if you miss it in print, you can check it out online at PulaskiCitizen.com. Wade Neely saying so long for now.
Main Street Maury Wrap this week includes a front page article on TriStar's announcement of their intention to try to build a hospital in Spring Hill. A Columbia doctor has been removed from the GOP ballot in the August primary, and Chris Gregory has a really good breakdown on that story. Columbia will begin its special census in August. The Maury County Commission approved the sale of property owned by Maury Regional, and Justin Hawka was sworn in as District 5 Maury County School Board member last week. Inside, a report has identified Duck River as one of the nation's most endangered rivers. 10 first responders have received the Star of Life Award, and the city of Spring Hill has turned the valve on its new water tank. Well, you knew it was coming. If I'm on the Main Street Maury Wrap, it had to be coming. That's right, the pig. Main Street Maury is the only place that you're going to find 2 pages of the deals that are going on down at Piggly Wiggly at Neely's Mill Shops. That's right, 2 full pages of deals, specials, great prices, and you always get great service from your locally owned and locally operated grocery store. So pick up a Main Street Maury this week and then get yourself on down to the Piggly Wiggly and get you some of those deals. Main Street Maury has local obituaries. We have coverage of last week's Spring Hill Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, a look at Mount Pleasant's newest breakfast option, Ms. Cheap, and that interview that I was telling you about with John Oates, which will be coming up right after we welcome Mo back and find out all about Maury County sports this week.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. This week's print edition of our paper has a lot of spring sports stuff, as you might imagine, including Columbia Academy baseball coach Richie Eastep winning his 700th career game. We got coverage of that courtesy of Chris Yao, actually, who was out there. Also, we've had yet another girls basketball coaching change in the county as Weston Ford has left Mount Pleasant and is returning to Zion Christian. We've got coverage of that. And also Columbia Academy graduate and former standout Maddie Lewis had a great freshman season up at Wabash Valley College in Illinois. See just how great it was in this week's print edition. Williamson County girls flag football closed its regular season over the weekend. We've got coverage of that and getting you ready for the upcoming tournament that will take place this weekend at Franklin and Centennial. All of those schedules, all of those results in the print edition. We've also got Tennessee Sports Writers Association's all-state teams for winter sports, boys and girls basketball, wrestling, and bowling, all in this week's Main Street Maury. So be sure and check that out. And again, as always, Larry Woody outdoor stuff. So check all of that out. This week, again, more spring sports stuff, some baseball, some softball, may even have a little rugby. So check online at mainstreetmaury.com and in next week's print edition for all of that. Thanks.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2024 season. Spend your nights and weekends at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, throwback deals, live music, and more. Top talent will take the field at First Horizon Park against the AAA Minnesota Twins, Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and more. Tickets start at just $10 and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. We will see you in Hit City.
And as I said to start the show, John Oates of Holland Oates was in Columbia playing at Columbia State Community College last week. Jonah Story got to sit down and talk to him before the show. We weren't able to get this to you before the show, but we do have his interview, part of his interview in this week's Main Street Maury. We're going to play a little part of it right here, and then you can hear the interview in full at mainstreetmaury.com. So here's Jonah.
I thought I would hop in with a kind of a funny question, really.
Okay.
You know, I was researching, man, and you were on The Masked Singer.
That's right.
And, you know, and I'm a big fan of the show, and one of my questions to you is, what chose you to choose the songs you sang, which included Johnny Be Good, Walking in Memphis, and Can't Stop This Feeling? And maybe you can talk a little bit about the costume selection as well.
Okay. Well, in terms of, first thing you have to understand about the show is they have, each show has a theme. You know, one of the themes was, roots, kind of the roots of your music. Another theme was boy bands. The first one was kind of open for personal suggestion, and I really liked that Mark Cohen song, "Walking in Memphis," and I thought I could do a good job with it. I wanted to make sure my first song was a song that I could really kind of sink my teeth into in my own personal way. So that's why I chose that one. The rest of them were kind of assigned in a sense. They said, "Hey, here's three choices, pick one." So they've got a whole thing that they do there. It's a very structured TV show, and there's not much left to chance. So they kind of dictate what they want, and then you pick from various choices. And the reason I did it was because I didn't know what it was going to be like. I thought it would be great promotion, and I was curious to see what people were going to think of my voice when they didn't know who it was behind the mask. So for all those reasons, I did it.
All right. This new album that you've got coming out that you're on tour with, Reunion. I wanted to know if you could talk about Reunion and just what that means to you, the song and the album itself. If you could kind of pick that apart for me a little bit if you wanted.
Well, okay. Well, the song itself was an idea that I got from my dad. He was 100 years old, and he told me during one visit that he was getting ready have a reunion with Mom, who passed away a number of years ago. Which means, it's obviously what it means. He knew he's near the end of his life. And I thought about the word reunion and what it really could mean beyond the kind of surface definition that a lot of people just think about, Then I thought about it, how it might apply to myself in terms of this time in my life that is very, it's a very emotionally freeing time for me, because I've really cut the cord between myself and my history. My history with Hall and Oates. I've cut the cord and I've moved on. I've moved on emotionally, physically, mentally, and I realized that what I was essentially doing was I was reuniting with myself. I was reuniting with the real me, the guy that existed, the musician and person that existed before this 50-year legacy of Hall and Oates music. And so it was very important to me to talk about that in a song. And so I combined those two ideas to get to a song, to complete that song.
Okay, man. And thank you so much for answering these and really taking the time with me today.
Sure. Well, I love Columbia. I go down to Columbia, my wife and I come down. We go have breakfast and love to drive the little country roads between Nashville and Columbia, and enjoy the beautiful countryside. Columbia's just a great little town.
Hello and welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. I'm Olivia Adams, and I am joined by Spring Hill Mayor Jim Hagaman this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We have a couple things to talk about. A lot is going on in the city, including the recent reveal of the certificate of need for a new hospital in Spring Hill. Why do you think Spring Hill needs its own hospital when there's a hospital in Williamson County and then, of course, Maury Regional in Columbia?
We have on the books went down on 2020 when the federal people did a census for us, and they counted 50,000 plus people in the city of Spring Hill, so that's official. But that was 4 years ago. And in these last 4 years, we estimate that we have at least 10,000 more people than that. We have 60,000 plus people now. And even at 50,000 people, Spring Hill needed its own hospital for the following reasons, but certainly 10,000 more people are those reasons, which are when you're having an ME, a medical emergency of any kind, and you have to go to an emergency room or a hospital, it's a long ways to go, especially with traffic these days, to go south to Maury County or north to Williamson, or even further north up to Nashville. And so we need a hospital just basically to serve our citizens first. Minutes and seconds matter.
So what are the services that will be offered at the new hospital?
Well, there's an array of services, and when the hospital people were approaching us to say, what do you need in Spring Hill? We are going to get a labor and delivery department. We're going to get general surgery. We're going to get catheter services and what they call med-surg floors, medical surgery floors. And those are services that most hospitals offer, which we don't have. And there are a few others, but those are the general ones that we are going to offer for our citizens.
And do you know when you will know if you obtained this certificate of need?
So I'm told, I'm not quite certain, but I'm told it'll be at the end of June.
Okay. And now switching gears a little bit, because there's so much to talk about in such a short amount of time. Recently, during the special called budget meeting, it increased water and sewer rates. That was passed. Why exactly does the city need to see their rates increase?
So again, with the increase of the water rates, and it actually hasn't passed yet, but we feel it's going to pass. The conversation has elevated to pass. Anyway, the reason is because with all these extra people, it puts extra strain and stress on our existing infrastructure. And so we need to create more infrastructure to serve our citizens. And so the water and sewer, it is by state law, it has to pay for itself. So we are not going to increase property taxes to pay for that, but we are going to increase we're planning to increase our water rates to help pay for the infrastructure that we have to have.
Now, I know you mentioned during the meeting, you mentioned there are citizens in Spring Hill, many who rely on Social Security, and that's their only form of income. And you spoke out about you don't want to see their rates increase.
That's correct, and thanks for asking that question. So yes, I, as an advocate for all citizens, specifically those that with any kind of increase, whether it's property tax or in this case water increase, because the part of the population of our citizenry that does have a fixed income, to increase their rates would not be it just wouldn't be the right thing to do. So when we move this items forward on the agenda, I plan to be a strong advocate to make sure that the citizens, and usually those are the geriatric population, they are not part of the group that is that their rates are grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And so that is a serving the city.
So that's not like a for sure deal yet. That's included. It's you're still going to bring this forward, this idea forward to final budget.
So
right?
the in Spring Hill, the way it's set up, we have the BOMA, which is an acronym for Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and there are 9 people that sit on that board. And all 9 of us have to agree, a simple majority have to agree on whatever it is that we're voting on. There are some exceptions that where it has to be 2/3, but so where I stand is that there needs to be exceptions to a rate increase. It's not 100% across the board, and hopefully my teammates will share that passion as well.
And when would this increase in the rates take effect?
So by state law, we have to have, we're on a fiscal year calendar, and our fiscal year ends June 30th, so the new one starts July 1st. So on July 1st is when it would take effect. That's when the new budget comes out.
And I believe it's there's 3 different tiers, correct? As far as the increase in the rates.
So tiers, the proposal that's on the table right now is to categorize the usage in the tiers, and the usage has to do with, however many gallons, and there's a break off of, I think it's like 0 to 6, and 6 to 10, and then above 10, tier 3 is above 10,000 gallons of water per month. And the higher tier you're in, the more you will pay. And so also part of what this is driving, I'm a conservative guy. I believe in preservation of natural resources. And so if a person is in 10,000 plus gallons a month and they see their water bill and it's pretty doggone high, they're going to say, well, how can I conserve water? So that's kind of a ulterior motive.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's good.
Sure.
It's extremely you're a good steward if you take care of your natural resources.
Just being more mindful about how much water you use.
Absolutely.
And so the budget, I know you everywhere right now, or soon, budget season is starting. And so by the beginning of June, I believe you guys will have this kind of all finalized for the next fiscal year.
Right. So the way Spring Hill does it, I think most municipalities to some degree do this, is that the month of April is our really busy month. We have extra called, special called meetings. That's what we call them. And then we talk about the budgets, the different line items in the budget, and how to basically spend the taxpayers' money. So by state law, you have to have a budget in place at the last day of the fiscal year, so by June 30th. We plan to have our budget in place by our first voting meeting, which is in June, which is, I think it's June 3rd.
Wow.
So, and if for some reason we can't come into agreement, we have that second and last meeting as an outflow.
Now, is there anything else that you would like to tell our viewers before we leave?
Well, like you have said through this interview, Olivia, there's a lot of things going on in Spring Hill, and I'll just touch on one more, and that's the interchange that's going on in the northern part of our city. We are planning to open that interchange off of 65 in June. In June Lake, we are planning to open that in June, and we're excited about that because it's going to bring a lot of economic development to that area, but also relieve traffic congestion that is some of in our main arteries right now.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today, and we will be right back.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather today.
Hey folks, happy Wednesday to you. Ben Luna here with you in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, wishing you a good morning and happy hump day. On the weather front today, temperatures on the warmer side still, but we are going to talk about a few passing showers across the area this morning, and then more rain chances looking ahead through the remainder of the work week. And we'll also kind of talk a little bit about the weekend and how that's going to be a little bit different compared to where we are now. So lots to cover here over the course of the next few minutes in this April 24th edition of Your Weather Today, made possible by my good friend Scott Beasley down at Beasley Wealth Management on the downtown Lawrenceburg Square. With that said, let's hop right into it. Here's satellite and radar over the past 24 hours. And notice the cold front that's draped across the nation's midsection. That boundary is going to be working its way south as we head through the remainder of this morning. Eventually, we'll see that guy stall out to our south, and that's going to be kind of the catalyst for us picking up more shower activity as we move past today. Now, in terms of this morning, yes, we will still maybe see one or two light passing showers, though I think rain chances will continue to filter their way south of our viewing area through the remainder of the morning, and then a mix of clouds and sunshine and a return back to the mid-70s for you this afternoon for daytime highs. Overall, not a bad forecast for your Wednesday. And then we start to look ahead to the day tomorrow, and well, guess what? Here comes more moisture, and that's going to mean a chance for, you guessed it, more scattered showers, if not a thunderstorm or two, across parts of the Tennessee Valley. Now, this activity will carry over into Friday as well. Here's the GFS model. This is that cold front that crossed the area today. That's going to come back our way as a warm front as we head into tomorrow, and as that lifts back across the area, notice the patches of moisture, which could be one or two little thunder showers. And just a note about rain chances, these are not widespread showers, more along the lines of isolated areas of rainfall. We'll contend with that as we head through really Thursday, and then for a while on Friday as another front works to cross the area, and that's going to influence how things look for the weekend. And then another round of rainfall will be here on Monday, but yet again, looking for that to be spotty as well. More on that in just a moment. Here's a look at your forecast for today. Temperatures across the region in the mid-70s for you in southern middle Tennessee, along with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Here's a glance at northwest Alabama and northeast Mississippi. Again, very warm for this afternoon with highs approaching the mid, if not upper 70s in a few spots, especially by the Shoals. Now here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Again, a few spotty showers around the area this morning, mainly south at this point. Looking ahead to a few isolated thunder showers here for both Thursday and Friday as that warm front passes back over the area. And warm front, yeah, you'll feel it by Friday with highs in the 80s on average. Weekend at this point should be decent. Clouds and sun, low 80s across the area. And then here comes another rainmaker. This is another front that's going to take aim to the region Monday into Tuesday and provide a few storms across the area, something we'll keep an eye on for you and let you know how that evolves. That is a check on your forecast for today. Kelly is back at noon with more on your local weather, and then Fred Gossage will be here live at 5. Have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.
Whew, I'll tell you what, well, there's one thing for sure. Our communities, Giles, Lawrence, and Maury County, are keeping us hopping here at the Main Street Media Southern Middle Tennessee newspapers. So keep it coming. We love it. If you've got something going on with your organization or your group in one of our communities, email me at sstewart@mainstreetmediatn.com. That's sstewart@mainstreetmediatn.com. I'll make sure it gets where it needs to go. Also, if you don't already get the Lawrence County Advocate, the Main Street Media, or Pulaski Citizen, let me tell you how. All of our papers are available in markets across their respective counties. Each of them is available for home delivery by subscription, and all of our papers and the news and events we cover are available on the respective websites of each of our newspapers: LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net, MainStreetMurray.com, PulaskiCitizen.com. Now, you can get a subscription to all of these online papers or to the traditional newspaper by visiting any of these websites that I just mentioned. Or you can go to MainStreetMediaTN.com and take care of any or all of them. That's MainStreetMediaTN.com. Now, thank you again for choosing the Lawrence County Advocate, the Pulaski Citizen, and Main Street Murray as your source for information about your communities. Good Lord willing, we'll be back next week.